Hey, what's good? No, no. Hey, you guys, what's up? It's James. I thought I would shoot a video blog. It's just update you on my life and to give you guys some ideas that I've been having lately. One of the cool things that happened today was that I ran the half marathon. It was much more of a big event than I thought it was going to be. There's 15,000 people, and for me it was just supposed to be a training run, but it ended up being a really cool day, and I really enjoyed the run. I started out the run just kind of like running with everyone else, but then slowly I realized that the pace setters for my time group, 1:30 to 1:40, 1 hour 30 minutes, 1 hour 40 minutes, was slowly getting away from me. So I started to try to pace with people in my group, and very slowly I began to wake up and had adrenaline and the going and the lactic recycling, and I just ran a great race today. I went 23 for the first 5K, 21, 21, and 21 for the next 5Ks. So in total 132. And overall I had a really good feeling. I was very confident. It was great to finally be running with people. There was a few moments like when I drank a bottle of water and just naive things, where I try to throw the bottle of water into a trash can and it hits someone in the head. Or what else happened? Just all sorts of stuff like that, at one point, there weren't really any hills, but the one hill that we did go on, and we came up, and as we started to come down, I saw everyone in front of me. And it's like, wow, there's so many people here. So, and I think I did pretty good, actually. I got about 1,700 out of 15,000 or so, and I got 68th in the blue group. Among the people named James, I was second, so that was a good thing. I guess so. 1,700 people in front of me, and only one other guy named was James. So anyway, it's cool. You can go on these websites and find any statistic about the race, basically. But overall, yeah, it was a great day, and I kind of got into a state of higher consciousness because I had to keep up with everyone else. I had to the people I was running with, they pushed me to kind of wake up more than I'm used to, especially even when I'm sprinting. And towards the end, I was just like, and just like, I was so into it. It was an amazing feeling. I've just been kind of riding a high all day of realizing, I don't really have anything else to do today because I really got a nice runner's high, So I don't know. I can talk about that. I can talk about how adrenaline, as you run, you can't come from a place of scarcity, or you'll trigger a flight or fight response, and then it'll cortisol in your system, and that will just give you a headache, as compared to slowly rising the adrenaline level by speeding up over any effort. I can talk about that, or I can talk about how over a course of a run, the lactic acid system that recycles lactic acid becomes more strong or so. But what I kind of want to talk about today is being confident in general. It's like, I think that one of the things is that, so you have the intuition, right? You can follow your intuition, and that can be a very interesting place to start from, because your intuition is always telling you all sorts of things. But at the same time, there's many voices going on, at least for me, I don't want to make it sound like I'm a psychopath. Maybe I am, but or I need some kind of help. I probably do, but I think we all do. And when I say voices, there's many different selves, many different identities that are coming through when I'm living my life. For example, we all have references, and based on the references I've had, I might see a movie and say, oh, so that's how I be confident. Or I could read something that says, follow your intuition, so that's how I be confident. Or I could take action by running, or making a video blog, or connecting with a deeper self and say, oh, that's how I be confident. Or I could say, no, it's through relationships that we become confident. And so, I don't know, maybe on one hand you could say that the self is comprised not of just one identity, but many different facets that make up awareness. Not just, for example, the physical body when I'm running. I'm a runner because my physical body works, but am I really a runner if my mind's not working, for example? And then there's smaller prospects about it too that make up the whole identity. And when you break it all down, you can kind of see how a person is just a collection of different inputs, I guess. And but so from a perspective of developing confidence, it's important to realize this, I think, because at times I'm going to be running and my mind's not going to be there, or my mind's going to be there, but my body's not going to be there. And so, but I have to kind of bring them together. Anyway, getting off topic. What I really want to talk about is following through. Following through is really important, I think. And it means following through on intention. So intention might... So what I'm saying is I might have a thought to do something, and then, so is that just a thought, or is that something I actually have to do? And knowing the difference is discernment. Knowing what's actually important is, but then at the same time not taking ourselves too seriously. So even now I'm conflicted, because it's like, well, is it about not taking myself so seriously, or is it about taking myself so seriously that I really deep guy contemplating, world peace and helping people, I'm not deep guy. Well, it's really hard to say, It's I think it takes a lot of contemplation. I think it takes a lot of self-work to be able to tell the difference between these two voices, the voices that are based on your references and the voices that truly come from within. We all have the material to make to meet our basic needs and to meet sexual self-actualization, to find a mate, to run fast, or to do well at anything. We all have that within us. But it can be hard to discover when we have so many voices that are telling us, no, you have to do it this way. Today when I was running, at the beginning I was very focused. I was very focused on by focusing on the person right in front of me, which isn't really it either. It should be focused more on the breath and focused on, my own sense of pace, but I didn't have a watch. But as we came to one part where it went back and came back, I looked over and I could see that the guys who were like 10, 15 minutes ahead were going so fast. And I noticed that the people around me were also seeing these people, and for a moment, I've been so focused, I was so confident, I was so into myself. And I guess that you could say that seeing those guys as they ran past the other way, like really, it drew my focus off from myself, and well, it didn't make me have a sense of compassion for them. It made me think about myself, like, oh my gosh, you're going so much faster than me. Is this worth it? Am I doing something good for myself? So, whereas before I was very focused on, like, really being in the moment, all of a sudden I get discursive because I noticed these runners to the side of me. But the lesson to learn there was that, I had to refocus. I had to, just as a meditation, when you come back to the breath, I had to replace my awareness on staying at my pace, or not, because the pain that I would have experienced if I had stayed focused on that would have been a pain of, focusing on how slow I am, or how I'm incapable, or how I'm imperfect. Those guys are imperfect too that are racing. There's no difference between me and them in a fundamental way. They've probably had more training and over time have built up a good endurance base and have had good relationships, and many different factors that have helped them get through. But I guess what it comes to in improving in such a way is I've been reading the Michael Phelps book. It's called No Limits, and I think that the key is in fact to have no limits. It seems that you have to have an idea of what you want and then just plow for it, make it happen, actually make it happen. So when I was swimming before, it was like I was always doing things that was like, I would be doing it, but I wouldn't be doing it with a purpose. I wouldn't be doing it for a reason. I was just doing it because they were saying so. I had a false trust in my coaches and my teammates, because I'm like, all right, I'll do your program. It's going to get me the goal, and it's going to be glorious. And it happened to a certain extent, but at the same time, it only happened when that was something I was actually motivated to do, But as far as actually being focused on actually wanting to achieve and making it happen how I wanted to make it happen, I'm very, very weak in that kind of thing. So it's something that I actually need to work on, is a sense of goal setting and having a sense of no limits. Not limiting myself, not having limiting beliefs based on saying like I have to eat chicken, or I have to meditate, or I have to be a certain person before anything can happen, because those limiting beliefs can get torn down when you meet someone who smokes weed and before a race or something, and it can be a tough world to live in when you have beliefs that are supposedly good, but in fact are just as limiting as someone else's beliefs. And generally, we have to be focused on other people in a way. We can't be focused on ourselves. But anyway, I guess what it comes down to, as far as goal setting, is having a sense of being unlimited. So what would unlimited mean? That would mean that you would wake up enough each day. So usually when I run, I don't wake up that much actually. I would wake up enough to the point where I would be really awake for a certain amount of time. And that would be the amount of time that I was completely focused on my goal, completely focused on it. Like in running today, when I saw the runners off to the side, to be completely focused, because I think that there's something in the mind where if anyone's mind really, but especially if you have a strong mind, that if you focus on a goal and you don't let anything else distract you, it just kind of happens. I don't know how it's possible. I think it just kind of happens. If you're focused on it and you're interested in bringing the different parts together and you have a strong mind, then it just kind of happen. In the same way, if I'm running and there's someone that's 200 meters ahead of me, for example, I say, I'm gonna catch that guy. And I start sprinting, and and then my mind goes, oh, it's so hard. Oh, maybe we should slow down. I'm like, no. And I keep on bringing, instead of coming back to the breath, I keep on coming back to the focus of the person. Then I can catch them. Like today during the race, I did that so many times. I saw someone ahead of me, and I said, no, I'm going to catch that person. I'm going to keep up with them. And I did it every time. There was no resistance on that part. So you have to have a strong mind, I guess. I don't think that a strong mind comes about by having a diet. I don't think that it comes across by, I think that there's something very primordial. I've had cheat days where I eat lots of sugar and I still have that focus, because I meditate, of course I'm advocating meditation as well, but I guess the other way would be to have a sense of serious pain that leads us back to being open and being focused on something, because we want to bring something to the world instead of focusing on ourselves so much. That makes sense. And so, in the end, I guess that's what it kind of comes to, is what you're focused on something that has a higher vision for society? Because if you're not motivated to change something about society, the highest level of the Maslow's pyramid is to give something back to the world, If you're not motivated by that vision, then you're not going to get the smaller visions. It's like Michael Phelps, he wanted to change swimming, So, of course, to get 8 gold medals, to change swimming, to have his focus on changing swimming, to get 8 medals was just part of that. To have the career that he had was just part of that. So, as he focused his mind on that very specific, very high goal, the things that many other people were simply focused on just because they wanted to get a gold medal, they fell short of, because they didn't have a higher vision that included those things. So for me, I want to have a great year. So these things like training for a marathon, it's of course it's part of a great year. Of course reading 10 books in 50 days is part of a great year. Or of course the diet that I'm doing or the studies that I'm doing, it's all part of the great year. So I'm focused, great year, great year, great year. And so that's happening to me because I'm focused on the higher vision, but all the other things that other people might be afraid of are just come naturally, So you have to have a higher vision for yourself. You have to have a higher vision for society, something that is so motivating, so altruistic even, helpful for other people. Because maybe we achieve joy by helping people, we achieve joy by giving to other people instead of just focusing on ourselves. So I think that's what it comes down to, really, is just having that sense of higher purpose. And if you have that higher purpose, then I think the rest of it falls in line, but you have to find it. For me lately, it's been confidence, it's been having a great year, and it's been about love. And I don't think that many. Yeah, for me, that's just been it. It's been about making things happen for myself, and then naturally I found that I've been helping others. I think that we improve ourselves by helping others. No, we help others by improving ourselves. Excuse me. We have to focus on what our mission is, and then we live as an embodiment of that to other people. You look at Michael Phelps, he doesn't have really much to say. You look at his videos, they're amazing. You look at his swimming videos, they're absolutely stunning. How he swims, the beauty of his stroke, the passion, you can see it in his energy. But when he talks, he doesn't really have much to say, really. So let that be a lesson, Live through your own purpose, and let that be an inspiration for people. Well, that's all for me. And thanks for tuning in. See you guys.